Okay, so this news story really just stopped me in my tracks today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems Amazon just shelled out a cool $40 million for a documentary all about Melania Trump.
Oh,
40 million! And get this, it's directed by Brett Ratner.
interesting choice.
To top it off, the deal also includes 3 mini documentaries about her, too.
Uh-huh.
So I think the first question that pops into anyone's mind, and certainly mine, is why such a huge investment?
Yeah, that's a really surprising figure. When you think about it, most documentary budgets are way smaller.
Right.
So yeah, a $40 million price tag for a film about Melania Trump definitely makes you wonder what Amazon sees in this project.
And Brett Ratner directing is pretty interesting, too. He hasn't exactly been in the spotlight lately.
Right.
So him coming back to direct this particular project feels like a pretty calculated decision for a certain look and approach.
I agree. Ratner's return could mean they want to create a really polished, maybe even a cinematic portrayal, you know. But I still think the massive size of the deal points to something more than just the film itself.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes me think about the connection between Amazon, owned by Jeff Bezos, and the Washington Post, also owned by Bezos.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like we can't ignore that connection.
Definitely not. The sources we've been looking at bring up a fascinating point. What if Bezos is trying to get on Donald Trump's good side, especially with the possibility of him running for president again?
Yeah, because Amazon is way more than just an online store, right?
Right.
The real moneymaker, like the source says, is Amazon Web Services, or AWS, their cloud computing platform. And a big chunk of their revenue comes from these massive government contracts, including contracts with the U.S. military.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, $40 million is actually a pretty small price to pay if it helps keep those contracts going.
Absolutely. Bezos' main source of wealth isn't retail. The stability and growth of AWS, which relies heavily on government partnerships, are super important.
Right.
This brings up a big question. Could buying this documentary be a strategic move to protect those crucial government contracts no matter who's in office?
And the source even suggested that the Washington Post's coverage of Trump might be changing. It makes you wonder if it's all connected somehow.
It definitely points to a business strategy at play. Keeping those government contracts probably outweighs any personal political views.
Now, what about Melania Trump's role in this? $40 million suggests she's more than just the subject of the film.
Yeah.
The fact that she's participating in the miniseries implies a level of cooperation and maybe even some influence.
That's a key point.
Yeah.
Even though the documentary is about the big investment and her involvement in the miniseries suggests a deeper level of engagement, maybe even some control over how her story is being told.
But the source made a good point. Is there really a big audience for a documentary about Melania Trump? It seems risky for Amazon if they're just betting on viewership.
Yeah, that skepticism is understandable. She was in the public eye as First Lady, but she's kept a pretty low profile since leaving the White House.
Right.
So this supports the idea that the $40 million might be more about strategy and less about how many people will actually watch it.
So it seems like this acquisition brings together media politics and big corporate interests.
Definitely.
Is it about viewers, or are there bigger goals at play, like keeping government contracts and gaining political influence?
I think this deep dive shows how complicated things get when big media companies invest heavily in content about politically important people. It makes you wonder if the content they choose is just about the market, or if it's also influenced by bigger political and business strategies.
It really makes you think about the state of media today and how these big players like Amazon operate. What are the consequences when they invest so much in content connected to people who might be back in power?
It leaves you with a lot to think about. In a world where information is so valuable, what does it mean when a huge corporation spends so much on the story of someone so close to potential political power? Is this just a business deal, or is there a more complicated game being played that's shaping our media and our politics?
A lot to think about, for sure.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
See you next time.
See you then.
Bye.